Hello, my name is David Fansler, and from the video you're watching, you can probably imagine I love to sail, which I do. But this video is not about sailing, it's about data collection and data display using a Raspberry Pi. Many years ago, there was a program called OpenVG that was available for the Raspberry Pi, but after one of the OS upgrades, that program was no longer available. I did some searching and found a company called GLG, and they have a toolkit called GLG that's used by industry, but better yet, there's a free community edition. And that's what this is all about. How to install it, how to use it, and hopefully it'll be something that you will find useful in data collection and data display on your Raspberry Pi. We're using a Raspberry Pi 4 running the 64-bit version of Bookworm, which is the latest version of the operating system. So I hope you enjoy this and find something interesting out of it. And if you do, subscribe and stay tuned for the next episode coming up not before too long. Now, before we can use GLG, there's some dependencies that we have to install. GLG uses X11 windowing, so we need to install a couple of Xfonts. The first one being Xfonts-75 DPI. Now we're using sudo apt-get install for all these installations. The second font is a 100 DPI, so hitting the up arrow we can just modify the previous command. Now that we have that installed, we need to install some other X11 development libraries: libx11-dev, libxt-dev, and libmotif-dev. And lastly, we need to install libjpeg-dev. Now, the latest version of the Raspberry Pi operating system, Bookworm, uses Wayland for displaying windows, but we need to use X11. So we type sudo raspi-config and go down to advanced options. And from there we go down to Wayland, which is A6. And from there we enter on X11. We get an OK, and we return back to the main menu and do finish. And we're going to reboot it this time, so I'll see you after the reboot. Now that we've rebooted, let's open up a web browser and type in the word GenLogic, G-E-N-L-O-G-I-C. That will bring us up to this entry, real-time HMI. So let's click on that. That will bring us to Generic Logic's actual web page, but we want to choose download. And from there, free community edition of the GLG toolbox. Now we click here to download. And we're going to choose the Linux ARM version 8 for the 64-bit Jetson Nano. Now in the upper right hand corner there's a circle with an arrow pointing down. That shows the progress of the download. And once it's done, it will show you the name of the file it just downloaded. And there it is. Scroll down a little bit on this page and click on Unix Linux instructions. And there they are at the top of the page, gunzip and tar. So let's open a file browser and click on downloads. Now we're going to highlight the name of the file and say we're going to rename it. But we're really not going to rename it. We're just going to use that to get the whole name of the file. So copy that. Right click, copy, click on OK. Let's open up a terminal. We need to change directories to download. So cd download. And once we're there, we're going to type gunzip, a space. And then we're going to right click and paste and hit enter. This will take a few seconds to complete. Now we type tar with the addition of xvf. Right click on the mouse and paste again, but delete the last 3 characters. All right, we've created a new directory in downloads called GLG, but we don't want it there, so let's move it to the Pi directory. And you can see that the GLG file has gone away and it's now in the home Pi. If we click on the GLG and then click on SRC, we're looking for makefile 2 underscore x11. We want to copy that and then move from there. Let's move up and go to the examples underscore C underscore CPP to dashboard, and we're going to paste that file into this directory. Now the name is a little long, so let's go ahead and just rename it and get rid of the 2-x11. Now there's some changes we need to make to this file, so let's close out the web browser and double click on makefile. And there it is. So it's already set up for the GCC C compiler, but we need to go down to GLG underscore dir and change that to \home \pi \GLG. All right, down a little bit further, and we're going to choose the extended API. So take the pound sign out from in front of it. But let's put a pound sign in front of the GLG CPP API because we're not running CPP. Lastly, we need to go down to target. And in target, we need to get rid of demo and put in GLG dashboard G. We don't need to put in the period or the dot or the C. Once that's done, let's save that, the changes we've made to makefile. All right, we've got to change directories here too. So we're going to do a CD to \home \pi \GLG \examples underscore C underscore CPP \dashboard. So now that we're here, we can make the file. So we're going to type make -f makefile. Now, for some reason right now, this thing is failing on the first attempt. But if you just hit the up arrow and run it again, it runs fine. So now let's run the or run the program. So sudo /GLG dashboard G. All right, but we need to add -GLG -disable -open GL, because we're not using OpenGL with our X windows. Hit enter, and there's our window. All right, wait for the splash window to come up and get rid of it. And we have two dials of voltage and amperage that are going up and down. This is program data from the programs generating. There's a stop and start button, so you can start and stop that. Then there's a PSI dial that has a slider that as you move the slider up and down, it will change the value of the PSI. So this gives you an idea of some of the things that you can do with the GLG toolkit. In the next episode, we'll actually take a look at a program that I've been working on for a sailboat, for controlling lights and water heater and other various things. So come back again, and I hope you found this useful. If so, give it a click, a like, or a subscribe. And so we'll step away from the keyboard now and go back to sailing. This is David Fansler saying so long.